Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what we're here for. WWE 2K25 DLC. Now, I usually do this a little bit later, but thankfully we have the Switch 2 version, and the Switch 2 version has all of the DLC if you already own it, so I'm able to see everything at least 12 hours before you guys are able to. Now, nonetheless, we're going to go over everything new. We're going to talk about the WrestleMania 41 pack. We're going to talk about DLC pack number 3. There's a lot to go on ahead and unravel here and speak on, because this is most definitely one of the best DLC packs we've seen in recent memory. The attention to detail is absolutely amazing, with Penta and Alistair Black joining us in the middle of the year when he just came back a couple months ago is truly insane. Now, let's go on ahead and get into all this, get into some details. Let's go on ahead and get into it. The first thing I want to get into right away is Penta. Penta has his own unique animations that really stand out. He has an animation when he can remove his glove in the middle of the match, and he has these taunts and everything where if you're chain wrestling, you also can go on ahead and get that animation as well. Again, I've always praised 2K with the way that they do these things and the way that these wrestlers really have their own unique animations, especially for DLC. It always makes them feel just a bit more special than everything else, and it makes it feel worth it. So kudos to them for getting this in there for Penta. And talking about something that pertains to certain wrestlers, New Jack did get some really cool stuff. Now, the entrance is exclusive to him. If you put the entrance on another wrestler, yes, they will come out with the trash can with the weapons, but the Extreme Rules match will not start with all those weapons inside of it. So this is just exclusive to him. You may still be able to get the entrance motion, but inside of the ring, the match will not start that way. But for New Jack, it does. And the one cool thing about it is that Brian Williams, shout out to him, one of the developers over there for the game, he did mention that a theme song plays. So New Jack theme song plays during the match. And one thing is, you can actually switch that theme song. So if you want to put the CM Punk theme song or a John Cena theme song, it'll just replay itself over and over again when you do change that. So again, it is something that only pertains to New Jack, but I do find it really cool for those that are New Jack fans. It's just those little details, man, and the exclusivity to the wrestlers themselves that really make it what it is. So I do think that that is something worth mentioning. So I really like that detail and all that good stuff about it as well. And one thing that I want to mention, guys, is that this is all Switch 2 console stuff. So if the graphics or whatever may not seem on par to what you're used to seeing, just know it is Switch 2. Thus far, it does look really good. I will be getting a review for you guys out very soon. Penta also has his own unique cheap shot animation, which I actually think is pretty cool as well. So I know that we went over from Penta to New Jack back to Penta, but it is something worth mentioning, and it is something worthwhile for those, you know, looking for things like that. Now, one cool thing that I realized is that when you go in and remove the bandana off of New Jack, he has the whole forehead thing going on the way that he's supposed to look. Shout out to 2K for getting that detail in there, man. A lot of people thought they just had the bandana and you was not going to be able to take it off. Turns out you could, and that's really cool that you can go in the creation suite and do that with New Jack. So I am really excited about that. Now, one thing as well that I want to speak on is the fact that KSI, you cannot go in the creation suite and actually edit him. So it's just kind of like Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson. I'm really not a fan of that, and it doesn't make me, you know, excited to use them, simply because we already seen this Prime Bottle in the island. It really does suck that we don't have the freedom to edit these characters the way we want to edit these characters, right? I mean, you look at the creation suite and you look at everything that you can do in there. It sucks that you can't apply that to, you know, Jalen, Tyrese, Shaq, or even KSI in this DLC. So hopefully that is something that is fixed. I get that this is probably an exclusivity rights thing, but it is unfortunate because at the end of the day, I feel like since people are paying all this money for this DLC and the game and all that stuff, I feel that every single DLC content should be used just like the other ones can. Just my 2 cents though. So hopefully we do see some changes with that in the future. Now we get into a little bit more gameplay things, and this is really cool stuff with New Jack because, man, it's just those two, Penta and New Jack, they went crazy with those two. But you look at New Jack and he actually does really cool things. Now the guitar, he goes on ahead and can play it. Hockey stick, he glides it back and forth. He points with the bat as well. And the crutch, he waves it back and forth. So this is something that is really cool as well to go on ahead, you know, and keep in mind when you're playing these Extreme Rules matches, going back to the point where these wrestlers feel like themselves and do things like themselves. That's what I personally love about this. So New Jack getting that stuff and being able to, you know, have fun with that, that's definitely a big W in my eyes. So just wanted to go on ahead and put that piece of information out there. Obviously, Jordynne Grace is in this DLC pack, and you probably wouldn't know with the way that I am going on ahead and speaking about everybody else but her, but she does have her own championship motion, which I think is really cool. And her model didn't really stand out to me when I initially saw it, but after, you know, playing with her, she does look pretty good. Obviously, I think that there's a couple things that they could do better, especially with a model like her that a lot of people were, you know, waiting for, but it's not as bad as I initially thought when I first saw it when WWE Games page put out her entrance and everything like that. So nonetheless, really, really good DLC pack thus far. Obviously, this isn't a review, but this is more of just the new things that we're finding while doing this. Now, when I go into patch 1.20 and I go on my Switch 2 and go into the creation suite, Nikki Bella's hat is back in the game. And a lot of speculation was around Nikki Bella, Goldberg, all that stuff. Right now, we can put that to rest because I feel that they would have already announced it if that was the case. Unfortunately, they have not talked about it. And now the hat is back in the creation suite. So if I had to go on ahead and guess, we ain't getting that anytime soon, and maybe not even this year. We may have to wait till 2K26. So I don't want you guys to go out there and really get your hopes up for something like this, because it looks like it's not happening. So I always tell you guys, take things with a grain of salt, because things change at 2K very, very fast, and things just happen. So hopefully, you know, we do get, you know, that pack at some point that people are speculating about, but for right now, it don't look like we're getting it. And we may just be in store for 2K26, which honestly, I wouldn't put it past them at this point, because again, it's something that has not been talked about, announced, or anything like that. Now, going into these Persona cards, right, for the WrestleMania 41 pack, Cody Rhodes' mask does not open up like it did at WrestleMania 41. The entrance is still the same, at least for right now. Things could change, but right now it looks like Cody's mask is just the mask, and that's it. Again, I'm thankful for the mask because I really wanted something of this caliber in the game, and it is what it is. I'll take my W's where I can. Obviously, this is something that I really would have liked to see them do to the fullest extent with an entrance motion, but again, I'll take my W's where I can. Now, you look at Jey Uso. He does not have his neck tattoo. Many people pointed out that he wasn't even in the main event, which honestly, I get where you guys are coming from with that. But CM Punk had some gear that they probably couldn't put in after reading some certain things. And then you have Seth. Obviously, you know, Seth would have been cool, but Seth would have been cool if you had the flamethrower in the entrance like he did at WrestleMania 41, and it's not something that they went ahead and fully went out on with the entrance motion. So the attires are cool. You got Cody, you got Jey Uso, and I wish Jey had the tattoo, especially if you're going to use him. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Now, Malachi, or should I say Alistair Black, I've been mixing up the names. Sorry, guys. At least you guys understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's hard to keep up. Lots of wrestlers out there. But Alistair does look okay, in my opinion. You can easily tell that he might have not been scanned. Nonetheless, though, it does look good. The entrance motion is good. All that stuff is good. I have really no complaints. And I believe that they probably didn't scan him because look at how late he came after the game cycle. Like, it really doesn't make sense how they got him in, but I'm super glad they got him in, and it's better than nothing. And even though he wasn't at Mania, people have pointed out that, you know, the WrestleMania 41 pack didn't say that it was somebody that was at Mania, right? So a lot of people were expecting Rey Fenix, which I think would have been cool, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Alistair Black was somebody that they've had his assets to, including an entrance motion and everything, so I'm not really against it. Now, his moveset, really, really cool moveset, and I am super excited to continue playing with him and doing different things with him, as I am super excited that he actually got into this game. Like, I really think that they did a fantastic job. There's a lot of hype around this game right now, and hopefully they start ironing out everything, you know, else that is, you know, wrong with the game. And, you know, obviously after playing the Switch 2 version, not seeing community creations with the upload image and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It does basically almost make community creations kind of useless, in my opinion. We're kind of going back to like formula days when you look at it, when, you know, SmackDown versus Raw, you looked on YouTube and you looked, hey, how do I create this guy? So it kind of feels that way, right? Because the image uploader makes the process much easier for creators nowadays. So that's definitely one thing that did turn me off, but that is probably more of a Nintendo thing. But I'm not gonna talk too much about the Switch 2 here. You guys make sure to stay tuned in for the next video. I wanted to go on here, talk about the DLC, see what's up. We got reviews, we got all types of stuff coming out, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for the channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you guys have been enjoying the content. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.